Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the free-to-play account and we're going to be breaking down Rem and Emilia, showing you the exchange, guys, which is in approximately 22 hours. It's going to be even shorter by the time this comes up. But one thing to note in this event, guys, if you're getting both heroes within the exchange, you want to make sure that you use a majority of these lab tokens because that's really what you can cap. So you can see right here, I am actually 9 short. However, once we do the redemption, I do have a couple more tokens in here. And just like Lilith has done in the past, guys, absolutely perfect planning with the Dreamy Garden, because this is also going to yield us some additional resources that are going to go to the mailbox. So if you are short on some Labyrinth tokens, if you are short on some of these hero coins, the Dreamy Garden is going to be a godsend because you're going to be able to get a lot more out of here. You can see we have a lot of Labyrinth tokens in here, guys. And then, of course, those hero tokens, which are incredibly difficult for a lot of players to get. So again, if you're a little bit short when it comes to this exchange, guys, it is going to be very, very close for some players. But overall, it seems like we're going to have absolutely no problem on the free-to-play account getting both of these, which is, of course, was an absolute #1 question that I probably got from AFK Arena or from players themselves. Is will you have enough as a free-to-play player? It seemed like it was impossible. Not only that, guys, is in 22 hours right there, 22:06, the redemption begins. You still have more, you still have 7 more days, guys, that you can accumulate resources if you are short in a specific bucket. So that is actually going to give you a couple more runs that you can do through the Arcane Labyrinth, making sure that you are stacking. And of course, it's Labyrinth and Limbo as well, guys. So they have given us every single opportunity that we have to actually build out these heroes. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. All right, guys, so we hopped over on the YouTube account, which of course on this account, we already do have Rem and Emilia. I'm gonna go over their build, guys. So looking at Rem, she is a warrior, she is a damage dealer. So what that specifically means is when it comes to a hero that is really the best in slot in the damage dealing, the higher that you build her out, the bigger that you build her out, the more stats that you stack on this hero, it is going to make a difference, guys. When it comes to the signature item, 30 is really where you want this, because when Rem is in demon form, a portion of the damage dealt by her ultimate ignores enemy shields. That is right, guys. She is going to do more damage through the enemy shields. But in addition, the stats. Now, the substat on this one is haste, which means if we take this up to a +35 signature item, which is very expensive, you're actually going to get another step in this haste bonus, which again can really make a big difference when it comes to her utilization within PvP specifically, but also other game modes where she is used for damage. Now, tier 4 gear on her, again, going to make a big difference for the stats, guys. When you start building up or actually adding on the multiplication factor, when you do the SI, when you do the gear itself, then you stack on what you get out of the inn. Now, of course, looking at her, guys, the 3 of 9 furniture is super important. When an allied hero takes fatal damage, they will immediately receive the effects of healing mana, skill, and become immune to damage. Now, not only that, guys, 9 of 9 on her, the healing mana skill, which of course they get when they take fatal damage, also restores their energy by 500 points, guys. That is halfway to an ult for a majority of heroes, depending where the energy is. That is going to be a full ult when they take fatal damage, because if they're 500 or above, it's going to give them another 500, and then they are going to go ahead and ult. So her 9 of 9 is very imperative. Again, the 309 on her, but then when you factor in the engraving, the healing mana's effect now linger for 8 seconds and heal the allies for 80% of Rem's attack rating. Again, the higher that you build her, the bigger that she's going to do, the better she's going to be. And you can also see, guys, that it goes from 4 seconds to 8 seconds with the +30 engraving. So you're literally doubling the duration for this healing mana's effect, which is huge. And then, of course, the healing goes to 80% from 40% right here, which again is massive, guys. It is massive with that +30, +60, just the same, guys. When you look at a hero, and most of you, if you're running Rem, if you purchase Rem, if you've been utilizing her, for each allied hero that dies, Rem permanently gains 20% damage reduction. This is straight needed because of the survivability issues that we see with this hero, guys. Not only does she do an incredible amount of damage within comps, but she does have survivability issues. That is why some heroes, some players actually run Only with Rem, we see Rem run backline in some formations. Rem either run with one, a lot of support, or two, a lot of crowd control to really make it viable. But again, this is huge, guys. When your allies start dying out, she is going to get a massive damage reduction, which is what you want, guys. So that brings her to a 30960 is really the optimal build when you build out Rem. Now, looking at her counterpart of Emilia, again, another hero that is a little bit less stat dependent than what we see because she is mage and she is a lot of crowd control and energy. So not only is it the primary control, but she does have a really big energy factor, which comes from this plus 30 signature item. When an allied hero other than Emilia deals damage to a frozen enemy, the allied hero recovers 100 energy points. That is right, guys. She freezes everyone at the beginning of battle, which is huge because they're going to have a big energy boost. Now, if you're running Rem within the formation, regardless of really where you're running this hero at, if she is in formation as the plus 30 signature item, you absolutely want because of this energy regeneration factor. And also, after coming out of being frozen, enemy's defense rating is permanently reduced by 25%, which again is going to allow your team to do a lot more damage. Now with her, tier 4 is very important when it comes to getting this tenacity. Tenacity for a majority of crowd control heroes, for pretty much most heroes, this is a really, really big factor when it comes to building them out because a lot of these are used in PvP. You do not want this hero crowd control. And then of course, guys, haste is the substat on here. So if you did take the signature item to a plus 35, it is going to give you the substat on there. Now looking at her furniture, the energy consumption while Puck is summoned is reduced to 50 points. That means the energy is going to actually leave her much slower, which is what you want. When both the enemy and allied heroes use their ultimate while Puck is asleep, she gains 200 energy. The 9 of 9 furniture again on her is a pretty decent requirement because that is how she gains energy, guys. So she actually runs out of energy when Puck goes to sleep. So essentially, her abilities are up to the point where she runs out of energy. When she's out of energy, she waits to get it back. This is huge when both enemies and allies use the ultimate. She is getting that 200 energy point. Really allows her to cast her ultimate ability time and time and time again, because without it, she cannot gain energy by attacking, getting attacked, or through other methods. She starts with 1,000. She loses it per second. Now, again, if you have that 3 of 9, this goes to 50 instead of 100 per second. When she reaches 0, Puck goes to sleep. And again, if Puck is sleeping when the enemies or the allies ult, she is going to gain 200 energy, which means on some teams, guys, this is going to be a really, really strong, fast cycle for her ultimate ability. Now, when it comes to the engraving on her, this is really the big one, guys, the plus 30 engraving. Allied heroes outside the zone will receive its effects at half strength. If they're inside the zone, of course, they get health equal to 120% of Emilia's attack rating and 40 energy per second. That is right, guys. She is a really, really big mana battery. The level 4 here is huge because even if they're outside of her zone, they will still get half strength. So they still get 20 energy instead of the 40, still being a mana battery. Then, of course, allied heroes in the zone gain 30 points of haste, which again is very strong within there. Now, looking at the 60 doesn't really, it's not really a game changer in my opinion. When the Great Spirit Puck goes on a rampage, allied heroes no longer take damage from this skill. If Emilia is the only surviving allied hero, she'll recover all of her health. Now, again, this is kind of situational, and that is the reason. I know there's a lot of players that have said, that this is really required. But again, kind of going on the situational aspect, that's kind of the big thing is this is kind of situational because it is only right here if Emilia dies. If she doesn't die, this doesn't do anything. Puck doesn't go on a rampage because she is still alive again. That is the reason why when I look at the build for actually Emilia, I would go 30930 on her, where Rem, I would go to the 30960. So with her, guys, the plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture, plus 30 engraving. And then on Rem, I would do the the 9 of 9 furniture, then the plus 60 engraving to build both of those out. So, all right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Hope it clarified. Also, in addition, guys, if you only get one, if you are unlucky and you can only have enough resources to get one single hero, Rem would be my absolute choice, guys. As much as I like Emilia's crowd control ability, there are entire formations that are built around Rem and the damage that Rem puts up within formations. So again, guys, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.